Breaking news, the French president, the illegitimate self-imposed guardian of French-speaking Africa, has announced, and I quote, France has decided to withdraw its ambassador. In the next hours, our ambassador and several diplomats will return to France. End quote. They are finally going to withdraw their troops in the next month and weeks to come with a full pullout by the end of the year, said Emmanuel Macron yesterday. Like my brother said, France is scoring own goal after own goal. El Macron was speaking as if he was in charge when in reality, in August 2023, Niger gave the French ambassador 48 hours to leave, but he chose to disrespect the host country and stay. Niger told France to remove its troops by September 4th, but they didn't even move an inch despite the people of Niger protesting in front of the French military base demanding them to go home. And according to reports, French troops even freed terrorists in the Sahel, I'm sure, to carry out humanitarian work in the region. It seems like France was banking on Niger to react to their provocations, but African wisdom was unlocked. You see, France's pride and arrogance couldn't allow them to add water in their wine to unlock the situation. But in my village, they say, the goat's pride and arrogance end while standing in front of charcoal fire. El Macron went from "we do not recognize Niger's authorities," went from putting pressure on ECOWAS for a military intervention in Niger, went from "our ambassador and troops will not leave unless requested by the deposed Mr. Bazoum," went from "Mr. Bazoum must be reinstated as the president of Niger," even shouting "croissant is better than jollof." I'm instigating something here. Basically, France was making all kinds of demand, like someone running away from the rain while swimming naked in the sea. They did all that only to finish with, "our ambassador is held hostage in Niger and is eating military rations, and now we are leaving." This is what I call the arrogance of a racing horse with the result of a donkey. You see, in this saga, Niger made France fit in the hollow of his hand the way we used to catch cricket as children. The cricket noises could be heard across the globe. Nevertheless, the cricket was already caught, defeated, and was going to be fried in a nice tomato sauce with onions on the side and chili. You see, African wisdom is by far much better and more advanced than Western diplomacy in Africa. And when applied in an African context, you cannot claim to be an anti-imperialist while using textbook imperialist COINTELPRO tactics to run a country or an organization. But back to the story. El Macron knew from the very moment Bazoum was deposed that the people of Niger were going to become the Moses of French troops and politics and lead them to the nearest airport, because the people of Niger did not consent for their country to become an orphanage of French troops who were booted out of Burkina Faso and Mali, using the logic of, if they were not good in Burkina Faso and Mali, why should they be good for Niger? Worse, France had already announced it would move to Niger before even the parliament of Niger had approved the move. No wonder they want Bazoum back so bad. In my village, they say, what an old man can see while lying down, a young man even standing cannot see it. I would like to take this opportunity to reiterate what Burkina Faso Minister of State, His Excellency Basolma Bazi, said at the UN General Assembly, and I quote, "Let me clarify here that no African people is opposed to the French people. There is no an anti-French sentiment in Africa, and there will never be, due to our legendary hospitality and our love for our neighbors. It's just that the people of Africa do not accept condensation," end quote. Slight correction here though. Some Africans accept condensation and disrespect in exchange for money. It's like their carbon credits. If you pay them enough, you can disrespect them from left to right and they will accept it with a big smile on their face. You can cross all their boundaries, disrespect their person with other people, invade their privacy, and they will take it with a smile. But that's a debate for another time. If it's your first time interacting with my content, I would like to welcome you and let you know that I have a podcast on YouTube full of non-political stories. You can find it in the podcast sections of the channel. I also have a book of Proverbs which you can access through the link below. Moreover, I create fire content that speaks for itself. Please check out my catalog and thank you for your time.
We, ni nini?